Hey, this is Andrew Brown. In this video, I want to take a look at API Gateway. So there are two types of API gateways that we can set up. There is the HTTP one and the REST one, and one is more complicated than the other. So I'm just going to go over here and show you. Well, there's technically four. There's a variation of the REST API. Then there is the WebSocket one. And so it really depends on what it is that you are looking to do. So the HTTP one is the newer one that is, I believe, oh, hold on here. Yeah, it is the simpler version of the REST one, whereas the REST one is more fully featured. I want to programmatically create some API gateways here. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to use SAM because I believe SAM allows us to create either one or the other. So we'll look up SAM CFN here. And if we go here, there should be one for, yeah, we have HTTP API. I don't think we have one here for REST. So if we want to do REST, we're going to have to do that one a little bit different. But this one is the most straightforward way. And I guess we'll start with HTTP here. So I'm going to go ahead and make a new folder. This one's going to be called API Gateway. And we're going to start off with, I'll make a new folder here. We're going to start off with calling this HTTP because that's what it is. And we're going to make a new file in here. This is going to be our template.yaml. I'm making it YML because we are using SAM templating for this. We were doing SAM when we were doing lambdas. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab some code here to get us started. The first is going to be these couple lines here. And we're actually going to want to attach this to a function. So that is something that we are going to be doing for sure. So I can go ahead and just paste that in there. Let's go back over to here and take a look. I actually do have some code that I made for evaluators. Let me just pull that up quickly so we have a point of reference, okay? So I think for this one, what it's doing is there already is an API gateway REST and it's attaching one. So this is not going to be a great example for us. Another thing I should point out is that for lambdas, we can actually quickly turn a lambda into an API gateway. So that might make more sense to start with. So if we go down below here, there should be something. I remember there being something here for having a endpoint. Let's go down to examples here. Yeah, here, events. And so this is a way that we can quickly create events. So maybe we should actually test that out first. So let's go get an existing Lambda that we have. And I'm going to go get the inline one because that is the simplest one to work with since we don't have to do anything really extra here. I'm going to go ahead and copy this inline Lambda. I'm just going to paste it in here. Okay, I'm just going to call it Lambda. And so we have our Lambda here. And so what we can do is go ahead and just add an API. And so we'll just keep it really simple here for this first one. And I believe that would be under properties. Yeah, it is. Okay, great. So yeah, type API / path, right? So that looks pretty straightforward. So what I'm going to do here, and I'm not exactly sure if this will work as is, but what we'll do is we'll go ahead and try to deploy this first. And then what we can do is then set up it separately because I can show you both ways as how we can configure that. But I'm going to go into this Lambda for inline. I'm going to go grab the bin directory. I'm going to copy it. And we're going to bring this back over into our HTTP directory, and we're going to go ahead and paste it. And I'm going to go ahead and just make some minor adjustments. So we'll go into deploy, and I just want to call this API HTTP Lambda simple, like Lambda, okay? And we'll go ahead and cd into our API gateway directory. And we will go ahead and run the build step of this. http.bin build. SAM not found. So I have a bash command that we can use to install this. We had this in the Lambda section. It's over here in the bin directory. So if you're curious on how to install SAM CLI, because that's what we're using here, it's just those commands. So I'm going to go ahead and just execute that. So let's say AWS SAM CLI. There we go. And so this should get us going. We'll go back to API Gateway. Bin build, and we'll build this. And so I'm just hoping that this is going to just work. Property API events not defined for resource of serverless function. API event not defined. Okay, well, we copied that from the docs. So let's go back over to here and take a look. So we have events. Oh, did we forget to put this in events? Okay. And we'll go give this another go here. So that built. And then we'll just do a bin deploy. And so hopefully this will just work, and then we can see that we have ourselves a HTTP gateway. So we'll go over to CloudFormation here. And we'll just wait for this to create, okay? Or fail and investigate. All right, so that has created. Let's go take a look and see what resources we have. So notice that we have, oh, it actually set up a REST API. Well, that is not what I thought we were doing here today, but that is totally fine. I guess my thought was that if we were using this, that this one would be the same. And so I guess if we want to have a REST API, we use that command, which is a little bit confusing, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and just rename this then. Yeah, I know. People are going to be watching this video and be like, Andrew, you're doing HTTP, but it seems like you're doing REST. Trust me, this is REST. We'll go back over to here and we'll refresh here. And I guess I'll go into this REST API. So bizarre that that's what it did. I mean, like, I thought there would have been like a separate one for it. But yeah, the way it works is, you know, we have our path and we have get, and then we can see the information here. And at any point, we can kind of intercept and change anything we want. So we can go to Lambda integration here. Oh, I guess that's nothing there. I was thinking like if I click that, I would get something down here, but it's actually these tabs over here. And so there are things that you might want to do to manipulate stuff. But I'm not really going to get into that in this video. I just wanted to see that we could actually deploy it and execute it. So now that we have this set up, let's go ahead and actually test it. So the way it used to work, because they've changed it. Oh, it's over here. We have a test here. And so I'm going to go ahead and say first name. What does it say? Yeah, first name equals Andrew. And last name equals Brown. And let's see if that will work. We'll just test it. And we get internal server error because this Lambda is not really set up to handle Lambda proxy. So I'm going to look up Lambda proxy Python example because I feel like the way we have to ingest the data is a little bit different. Yeah, so see here, it's going to event query string. And so that is the key difference here. So we'll go here, and it's different for each library. So I wouldn't say it's always that, but like we'll go here and just say this. Whoops. And because I think I didn't really read the error, so we should go back and read it carefully, but I'm pretty certain that that was the problem. And let's go read that error again. Endpoint response before transformation. Also, is there anything else we need to do? We need to return a response. So that's another thing that's important. So go here and we'll just change this a bit. There. And so our body is going to be, I would just say our message, I suppose. Just do that. We could return JSON if we wanted to, but I'm just going to keep it simple here. Take that out. We don't really need that. Okay, and so this should get us into better shape. So we'll have to go ahead and deploy that. This is becoming unresponsive. So for that, I'm just going to go ahead and reload this window quickly. All right. Really threw me off there. I really thought that that was going to be HTTP, not REST. We'll just wait for this to reopen, okay? All right, so I think that's been updated. Let's make our way over here and take a look. So we'll give this a nice hard refresh here. Okay, we'll go into here, and I'm hoping that we don't have to deploy a new version. I think that it should just take effect here. Also, I mean, like, Yeah, we're not, yeah, this should just work because we're testing internally. So we'll go ahead and type in first name, Andrew, and then last name, Brown. Then we'll go ahead and test this. Not much better. This did deploy, right? Yeah. Let's go take a look at our Lambda. Let's just make sure that code is actually updated to the way that we need it to be updated. Since I'm not necessarily trusting it here, we will go look at the code. That's not our new code. Hello. Let's give this a hard refresh. Yeah, so I'm not sure if it's because it's inline, so it's not busting, but I'm going to go ahead and copy this here. I'm just going to paste it in. Okay, right click paste. I don't want to read it. There we go. Okay, great. So, you know, that other one should have worked for the deploy, but I'm going to go ahead and just do this and get the code that we want to be in here. We'll go back over to API Gateway. We shouldn't have to do anything here. We'll go to Lambda integration here. Does it know it's the latest version? Now it is. Let's go back and read this. I'll give this a hard refresh, making sure that it is calling the latest one. We'll go ahead into our get. We'll say test. And we'll try this again. First name equals Andrew, and last name equals Brown. We will try this again. Yeah, it's ampersand when it's in between. Not the easiest to read. Oh, we get a 200 right here. It just looks kind of weird because of this, but up here it says, hello, Andrew Brown, status 200. So there you go. That is the simplest part of at least REST API. There's a lot going on here in REST API, like a crazy amount. So, you know, that's for separate videos, but being able to execute a Lambda is one of the most common methods. I also wanted to show you in the Lambda, since I didn't really show this other places, that we can now see API Gateway is listed over here as this. Another way that you might want to do this is, and I actually have this in that template that I showed earlier, but it's like you might want to set up an API Gateway in a separate CloudFormation script, and then attach this Lambda as something as a function onto API Gateway. And I kind of like prefer that method, but this is obviously a very easy way to get going or getting started, is to just use the events here. We're going to go ahead and just tear this down, and I'm going to say that this is a success despite some of the confusion in this video. So yeah, I will see you in the next one where we'll actually cover the basic one, or sorry, HTTP. Yeah, see you soon.